Alrighty, my friends, welcome to my first lesson here on this page in this format. Today I'm going to be focusing on the second song on Billy String's new record called In the Clear. And I'm going to try to do this every week. I'll probably make series on different artists, like a series of lessons on Billy String's things and, different pickers and be consistent with this. So this is my first shot at it. And we're going to go through In the Clear. I'm going to go through the form of the song, and I'm just going to give you tips along the way on how to learn things and, a little bit of philosophy and my thinking behind learning things. And I'm going to try to offer you some, kind of difficult parts that maybe you won't find elsewhere, and give you some pretty in-depth information on how to learn difficult things on the guitar. So let's start with the tune, and I'm going to give you the form of the song, and I'm also going to be focused on the solo part. But I'm going to play the whole tune and teach you the whole tune. But we're going to be kind of focused on the solo part, and I'll just quickly play that for you. Let's see if we can find it. This part here. Get you learning that solo section, but let's go through the whole tune. It's in the key of G, and in bluegrass we often are doing the G that doesn't have a major third, so you're muting the A string and you're just getting, and this is the G we're learning, and this is kind of the pattern is a boom chuck. I'm going to give you a boom chuck on every chord, but I'm also going to teach you how to kind of weave different rhythms in, like Billy does and lots of bluegrass players do, is weave different rhythms in to make the bluegrass rhythm guitar playing sound interesting. But I'll just start with the basic boom chuck on the chord pattern of the song, and we'll kind of just outline it to start here. So it starts on the 5 chord, which is the D, and the banjo kind of kicks it off with this, and the intro chords there, D, A minor, I believe C and G. So I'll just play through it and then we'll break certain things down. Here we go. And then it starts on the G chord there. So let's go through that intro. And then that second section, let's go through actually this a couple times. I just learned it as well, so. Oh yeah, and this is where it starts with. And it's spinning like a wheel. And then C, D. Let's see here. Go back to the start. Now that right there goes to the D, G, C, So that's the verse there. We'll break things down. You want to work on doing every chord in this song with the boom chuck pattern. So for each chord, the bass strings are going to be different, right? For D, it's going to be the D and the A string. For C, it's going to be the C, the A, and the E string. It has this little move that happens a lot in the song, which is the C to this little walk down chord, which the string, those are the notes you're focusing on, is the middle 4 strings. It's pretty much a G chord, but it's you're walking down from the C to the A minor. It might be an A minor 7, but we'll say A minor. So that happens a lot in the verses. I think it happens in the chorus as well. So let's go through the intro, verse, and then we'll look at the chorus. That right there is where it goes to the C, walk down, and A minor, and I seem to always forget that, so let's try it one more time. And then the first chords are D and A minor. C, G. C, that little walk down. And then that little move there, going from the C to the D, he does this thing a lot where he goes. So you're taking the C chord and you're moving the bass, and then doing the boom chuck on the D, moving to the G. And then that's where you can maybe throw in a G run. Now, as we're going through this lesson, if there's anything you want me to focus more closely on, put it in the comments, because I want to gauge, with the people watching this content, what you need. But we'll start here, and we'll just go from there, build upon it each week. So let's go through the rest of this verse and into the chorus. That little second part, it goes to the D, G, C, and then it does this again. So let's do the second part of that verse. To the D, G, chorus. Now this, A minor and E minor, and it kind of has this E minor 9 sound. But there's some interesting things he does with the rhythm on this, so let's look closely at this. Chords, we start with the D. They say heaven knows the road is to the C, A minor, and E minor, and someone in the band is kind of emphasizing the E minor 9, but I'll show you how he plays this rhythmically. First thing is you can kind of walk up to that D. And there's different ways you can do that, but we'll start with just that basic. You can get to the D by doing that. G, C. Now let's see. I'm going to hear this a couple times. I thought it did A minor there. But let's see. It actually does D to E minor. So, as you learn things, the more you listen to it, you might hear, oh, I was actually wrong there. You start practicing your ears when you're learning a tune. So, it starts with the D. They say heaven knows the road is slow. How the hell does heaven know the E minor is where we're going to change the rhythm. So I'm going to show you what we do there. Now that little rhythmic change, we're going, instead of doing a boom chuck, which I'll just do on E minor, instead of doing a boom chuck there, we're going, which is a great way in bluegrass to change just one chord rhythmically. It really leads you into the next chord well. So they say heaven knows the road is just on that one chord. So in order to get that rhythm down, you want to just practice that. And you might do that with a metronome, just to get that type of rhythm down and throw it into the chord. So let's hear that in context. Right here is where he does this thing again. Little walk down from the C. Where am I supposed to go from here? So let's hear that in context. Now that he kind of always does that, going from the C to the D. Cool, one more time the chorus. And to go from that G to the C, you can walk something up. So from the G, maybe to the A, to the C. They say heaven knows the road is slow. You can walk it like that. Bass drum, bass drum, bass drum. Or you can walk it G, B, C. So they say heaven knows the road is slow. It's nice when you're moving from one chord to the next to kind of try to move it with the bass. So that's something, little intricacy there. You can throw a G around there. And then the solos are going to be over a verse pattern. So you want to be thinking, when you're playing rhythm to the solos, you want to be thinking, what's the melody of the verse? And be singing that in your head. That can keep you on track. So I'm going to try to do that. Sorry, it goes G to D to start. I missed that. What does it do? Starts on the G, D. Oh yeah, and then just C and G. Try it again. Then we do this. Oh yeah, and that's the D, G, walk up to the C, and then... Okay, try this for over the solos, playing rhythm for the solos. Try that again. C, G, C, walk down, A minor. And sometimes I get a little lost there because I'm still learning the tune. But let's try that whole verse again. And then I'll go into another verse. Now, when I'm playing rhythm for somebody's solo, I'm kind of singing the verse in my head because that can keep me on track in terms of the form. So that's what I'm doing in my head is I'm singing the verse, or at least humming the melody in my head. That can kind of tell me where the chords are going. I'll try this verse solo one more time. Just where am I supposed to go? Another verse. Now going from the G to the D there, you can do this little, that little walk. So if you're doing G, you can try it like that. Now if you, I'm thinking that maybe I'll do in the future a video on more of the nuances of the actual where you're putting ups and downs and things like that. If you want a video on that, let me know in the comments. But let's keep going here. Verse 2. Now we're moving into the solo. Now, I haven't got it up to 100% speed, so I'm going to play it slow for you and really break that down. And I'm going to tell you how I learn solos to get them up to 100% speed to play, something as fast as what Billy's doing in that solo. But let's just break down the notes of the solo. Looks like this. That's the first phrase. You're going up a G, basically a G major scale, minus the seventh. So a G major scale, be like. But the notes here are. It's the first phrase, and I'll just go phrase by phrase, and you can learn it. I would say that's the first two phrases. Right after that note, you're hitting an open G string. And you're hammering on. The key thing when you're playing slow here is to do the right downs and ups. So I'll verbalize them. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Those downs and ups are going to be really important as you start to speed up, because it has to be alternate picking, or else you're never going to be able to get to the full speed. That's the first two phrases. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up. That would be an up there. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Really important to get those right, so slow that part down. I'll do it one more time. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down. The key with learning solos is to learn it phrase by phrase. I use a hourglass, and I say, okay, I'm going to learn the first couple phrases in this 15 minutes. Now, here's a little hack for you. I use an app called the Amazing Slowdowner, which I highly recommend you use. And you can upload songs to that app and slow them down, and you can slow down any section of the song and loop it. And you can increase the loop speed every time it goes around by however much you want. So, for example, I might loop the first phrase, and I might put it to 50% speed so I can really hear the notes, learn what the notes are, and then once I've got the notes, then increase the speed 1% every time I play it until I can get it up to 100% and even beyond 100%, so that I can easily play it at 100% speed when the situation calls for it. So that's a hack to learning something that you would think would be impossible to learn with your ears. You're still using your ears, you're just slowing things down. So much better than just slowing it down on YouTube. You have much more control with the Amazing Slowdowner. So let's go on and learn some of the other phrases. So first two phrases. And then we have, that's the third phrase. And it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Let's listen to that one. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum. 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 And you're thinking rhythmically. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So get that phrase. This is all just in G major. You should know the G major scale like this. You should know that. This is just a section of it. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're just going down 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go up 2 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the picking is up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Moving on, this is a really cool phrase, a little important thing. When I'm doing these lessons, what I'm wanting to impart onto you is not just the notes to learn the song, although that's valid and important, but it's because the point is, why would you learn a Billy String solo? It's not so that you can play a Billy String solo, although that is fun and cool. What it is so that you can pick out certain licks that he is doing and input them in other places, in other songs, fiddle tunes, using these ideas, putting them in other places. Then that is when it becomes a part of your own vocabulary, is when that lick can come out anytime, not just from the way you memorized it in that specific section. I'm going to do a whole video on how to take a lick from a solo and get way more use out of it and put it in way many different situations, so that that lick actually becomes a part of your vocabulary. You can just spit it out at any time, in any context, in any key, on any chord, and all of a sudden one lick that you learned from one solo becomes almost infinite ideas for other things. So I'll talk more about that, but this is the reason why I'm doing these lessons. It's not so that you can learn a Billy string solo. It's you can take some of these ideas, and this next lick is a perfect example that I thought I would, use and put in different situations. But I'll show you what the lick is. Play it first. So this is a little quick one. Decka 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 da. The rhythm is decka decka, right? That interesting little decka 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 da. Question is, how does he get that, and how can you do it in other situations? But let's listen to it again. Decka 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 da. Decka decka. That's kind of the first part of it. So, first part, hammer on the G string, down, up, down, up, down. That's the picking. You gotta get these little tiny parts. You should be pausing the video on every little tiny part and working on that part a lot. And then once you kind of have it really slow, okay, I can add some notes to it and learn the next part of the phrase. And so, these videos are meant to be sat with, paused, with a guitar, working on things. And I'll keep giving you tips on how to practice, but let's just try to get through this. Now we're going. Once we got that lick, we got that part, which is the classic bluegrass thing. I always put that everywhere. So we got, then we're just going down a G major pentatonic. Get that part. Pause that, slow it down if you need to. Now, once we've got to that G note, we're going up a G major scale. And then we're moving to a C chord. Forgive my tuning. And I'll show you. Let's get this right. This guitar's been a little bit of a nuisance lately. Sorry, baby. Okay, let's get this next lick. So we got, yeah. So it's kind of like a cross-picking thing. Pulling off the pinky. So I'll do this really slow. This is where you're kind of thinking you're on a new phrase and you're focusing on this C chord. So get everything leading up to that, which is, and then we'll focus on this lick on this C chord, but get the downs and ups right. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I can't say it at the same time, but try to work with me. Or look at my picking hand if you need to. Write it out if you need to. Now we'll go to this next lick. So master that lick first and then move on. And we've got this. It's like a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It's always like that. Always down and up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then we move to this chord, which is, the solo should always be kind of outlining the chords, and the way my guitar teacher talked about it, the late Don Seddon, my first guitar teacher, said the guitar solo should always get the essence of the song. It should always express the essence of the song, which means the melody, the chords, and the essence of it. So this little thing he's doing throughout the song, which is a big kind of theme in the song, that little chord change, you know, he's outlining in the solo. So let's just get those three chords. So and then it moves to this one, and we do so get those notes from one to the next. And then we're moving to an A minor, and we're doing so you should just get that as a phrase, that entire thing. And you're hitting the A there in between the up, down, up. Up, down, up. So that's a phrase, and then I'll go through the next phrase, which is very cool, very fun. And then it moves up this kind of pattern, but this is an interesting little section. Let's get this really slow. So just get that. It's kind of outlining an A minor chord. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So what you're always doing down and up, and if you get a pull off, still think of it as an up. So down, down, up, down. So I'm pulling off there, but I'm still thinking of it as a down to keep everything on track with the alternate picking. It should always be down, up, down, up, down. So let's put that with this. From there, and then we have, it's like a blues lick in A minor. You know, if you've ever done that kind of thing. You know, it's interesting, you see how he's outlining these chords when you break things down. Doing the blues in A minor, so. Now, the beat lands on that note. It's actually a C chord that the band lands on, but it's interesting the way he walks up here. So he just does on those middle four strings, which is just so funny. It's a cool lick, and when you hear it in context, let's hear some context here. That little is just cool. So let's do that section slow. I'll just end it there, and I'll put this all together from this section. Now, the interesting part about that is that it's when you do you're going up on the first note. So it's up, down, 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 up, down. So on the first note of every string is an up. which is just a great exercise. If you did that on every string, it's a great exercise. You should do that with a metronome to practice getting your coordination with the left and right hand. At different tempos. Great practice, but it's in the tune, so we got. Right after that we go, which is, this is going to be like a G minor pentatonic lick. Leading into the D chord. So last section, let's do it from here. That's the last little part. I think that's a slide. Pull off here. So I would break just that one part down. Pretty sure that's it. So slow that down, learn that, and put it in context with this. That's it. So let's do the whole solo as one piece. What does it start with? What does it start with again? Now this lick I gotta work on getting up to speed, but it's... into the chorus. Now what I would do is I would work on that on the Amazing Slow Downer and practice it at 60% speed, going up 1% every time I played it, until I get to 70%, 80%, 90% is usually where you're going to start to break up and need to go back and go through the cycle of 60, 70, 80, 90% a bunch of times till it's really in your muscles and you can start creeping into 100% speed and beyond, and really just get that in your bones. And then you can start to take some of those licks and extract them and put them in other places, which I'll talk about in another video, but just wanted to get you the basics of the tune in case anyone out there was trying to learn it, figure it out. And we'll also just play the song out. So I'll play rhythm for his solo here, and then we'll play the song out. And then it goes back to the intro, the outro now, which is the D, the A minor, the C, and then a little ending. You can kind of follow that. You can follow it with the chords, or you can play a lick. So you can put a lick in there, or you can follow it with the chords, just depending on the situation. So that's the tune, that's the solo, broken down into its basic parts. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and comment if there's anything more you want me to talk about on specific parts, because I'm going to be making videos every week and kind of want to build something out of this. So if this is interesting to you, if this is helpful, then do all those things. That would help me start to build this channel and see what people are interested in, and give you some more content on some great guitar parts. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.